Hey friends, this is Megan from Star Spangled Acre, and this is week 3 of the Pantry Challenge. Let's get to it. Good morning. It is Sunday, day 11 of the Pantry Challenge, and for breakfast, before we head out the door, the kiddos are just having some leftover sourdough pancakes with some of our spiced Christmas jam on them. For the kiddos' snacks this week, I made them some more fruit leather. We've got sourdough granola bars and our sourdough pita chips and a red pepper hummus. I didn't get around to recording this one, but my husband made crab legs for dinner. Good morning. It is Monday, day 12 of the Pantry Challenge, and for breakfast we are having egg and whole bagels. Yesterday I started my sourdough bagel dough, and this morning I cooked them up and then put them in the oven. So we've got the top half of one going here, and over here we've got the bottom half. I put some cream cheese on there and a slice of pepper jack cheese. And there it is, our egg and a whole breakfast bagel with some cottage cheese on the side, topped with our strawberry rhubarb jam. I also made the kiddos some mini sourdough bagels. Co-op is starting back up this week, so they need a little snack to bring with them. For dinner tonight, we're going to have a quick and easy potato soup. I have, it was about 8 medium-sized potatoes cut up, and they're in the pot, starting to boil with 2.5 cups of milk and 4 cups of chicken broth. And I also put in some of this smoked salt that we're trying to work through. Over here I have 1 medium onion and a little bit of ham chopped up that we're trying to get used up. They're cooking, and then I'll be adding in some chopped up garlic as well. Alright, the potatoes are done cooking, so I took some of the liquid from that, and I'm going to mix in a 1/3 cup of flour, mix it up real well, and then add it back to the big pot. I'm going to add the flour mixture to the big pot, along with our sauteed onions, garlic, and ham. I also added in some parsley, smoked salt, black pepper, and onion powder. Last night I pulled out the beans left over from our cornbread and bean dinner the other day. So these are thawed, and we're going to add some of them to the potato soup. And because I added the beans in, I needed to add a little milk to get the right consistency. And I also put in some of this to give it a little extra flavor. And here's the finished product. Good morning. It is Tuesday, day 13 of the Pantry Challenge, and for breakfast today we're just having some egg wraps. If you've been around for our previous videos, you already know how we like to do our eggs in the morning. We've got our turmeric, black pepper, some smoked salt that we're trying to use up, and because I don't like cutting up onions and garlic first thing in the morning, we do onion and garlic powder. And we always top it with some saffron, and today we're going to be putting some Parmesan cheese in our wraps. The eggs are done cooking, so we're going to sprinkle some of that Parmesan cheese as well as the leftover shredded cheese. And there's breakfast, our sourdough tortilla egg wrap topped with some salsa. I've got my coffee on the side of our elderberry syrup we're going to be taking, and then I've got my beef organ supplements and the honey fermented garlic back there. I already took my vitamin D, so did the kids, and it looks like we're going to be making another batch of elderberry syrup this week. This morning I felt like having a fancier latte, so I ground up some fresh coffee beans and did a French press, extra strong, and then we whipped up some of our raw cream and sprinkled some of our homemade cinnamon sugar right on top. So it's a cinnamon vanilla honey latte. Another project I have for today is to use up these old bananas. So sourdough banana bread it is. For dinner tonight, we're having a good old Taco Tuesday, so got ground beef cooking up. We're going to season our ground beef with some of that smoked salt, pepper, chili powder, onion and garlic powder, cumin, red pepper, paprika, and some oregano. We have some salsa to top our tacos with, as well as some cheese and some lettuce that we still had on hand. We have these hard corn shells left over from another meal, so we're going to finish those off, as well as using some of our sourdough flour tortillas. There is our quick and easy dinner, soft shell and hard shell tacos. Good morning. It is Wednesday, day 14 of the Pantry Challenge, and today has just been one of those days. So we just had a really quick breakfast. We have some of the sourdough pancakes that I like to keep on hand in the freezer for days just like this. They're topped with some of my strawberry rhubarb jam. And then to get the protein in, just a good old scoop of cottage cheese. With a new semester of co-op starting back up, that means it's time to pack the kids' snackables. So this week they're going to be having those sourdough mini onion bagels that I made with some cream cheese and salami on them. And they also have some grapes. We're still working through some of the fresh fruit we had on hand. As well as some sourdough sugar cookie minis and sourdough graham cracker minis and the fruit leather. For dinner tonight, we are having barbecue chicken wings with a homemade mac and cheese and homemade coleslaw. For this one, I pulled out the big guns. That's the big old cast iron pan. And I've got these chicken wings covered in a homemade, well, it was supposed to be homemade ketchup, but it came out more like a barbecue sauce. So we are getting that used up. It's really good as a barbecue sauce, but I cannot find a recipe for homemade ketchup that I like that actually tastes like ketchup. So we still buy ketchup. For our homemade mac and cheese, this is what we're working with. I should call it pen and cheese, not mac and cheese. We need some breadcrumbs for this recipe. So last night I pulled out one of the sourdough breads that I had in the freezer. We try to always keep some bread in the freezer. Got it cut up, and I'm going to get it baking and crumbled into some breadcrumbs. Chicken wings are in the oven baking. I've got the breadcrumbs baking. Now I'm going to add this pasta in there. In a separate pan, we're going to get our cheese sauce going. So I have 4 cups of raw milk here. Whoop. Can't multitask pouring and recording at the same time, apparently. Alright, the mess has been cleaned up, so moving on, we're going to add 1.5 cups of raw cream. This goes in approximately 4 cups of shredded cheese. I'm using a combo of sharp white cheddar and Colby Monterey Jack. While the cheese is melting into our milk and cream mixture, I'm going to get, 8 tablespoons of butter melting in a pan. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of flour. Our 8 tablespoons or 1/2 cup of butter is melted. Now we're going to put in 1/2 cup of flour. Now that this is mixed up, we're going to add it to our milk and cheese mixture. To our mixture, we're going to add in about a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. We're going to measure the onion and garlic flakes with our heart. And we're going to continue using up this smoked salt. Add some pepper, those just to taste. For our pen and cheese topping, I've got 3 tablespoons of butter melting. And I'm going to add in about a cup of my sourdough breadcrumbs I just made. I've got the heat turned off on this now, and I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. It's all mixed up. Now I'm going to get this topping set to the side. And our cheese sauce is coming along nicely. I'm going to keep letting it cook and get a little bit thicker. I have half of the al dente noodles put in the pan, an oiled pan, and about half of the sauce on it. Now I'm going to put half of the topping. I added in the other half of the al dente noodles, the other half of the sauce, and the other half of the breadcrumb topping. And the chicken is coming along nicely, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven with it, let them cook together. This is an extra big batch, so we can have leftovers on Saturday. I have this beautiful red cabbage that we got from the organic farm. I'm going to cut some of this up and make some coleslaw. In the bowl I have about 2 cups of cabbage finely chopped. We're going to be putting in 1/3 cup of mayonnaise. Got homemade mayonnaise. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar, a heaping tablespoon. About 2 teaspoons of vinegar. And some salt and pepper to taste. And I almost forgot a dash of lemon juice. Now, if I had feta cheese on hand, I would have put that in the mac and cheese as well, or the pen and cheese. But we didn't have any, and when we went grocery shopping, we only went to our local store, which does not sell an organic one. I have to get that either at Whole Foods or Costco. But that would have been a great addition. Good morning. It is Thursday, day 15 of the Pantry Challenge. And for breakfast today, we are having some of that sourdough banana bread that I made, along with some scrambled eggs topped with Parmesan cheese. And I have a strawberry banana smoothie here, made with raw milk, honey, our homestead grown strawberries from the freezer, and those bananas that needed to be used up, and I put the rest of the bananas in the freezer. For dinner tonight, I'm making a unstuffed pepper casserole with some leftover bell pepper and some of these pickled banana peppers that we had. We have the bulk rice that we're trying to work through, mixed with some ground venison, and I have this can of cream of mushroom in the pantry. I'm going to add that in, along with shredded cheese. Not my prettiest meal, but it was good. Good morning. It is Friday, day 16 of the Pantry Challenge, and for breakfast we just had cheesy omelets. I was working on my Valentine's Day menu today, so the kiddos ended up with some snacks. This is our sourdough Pop-Tarts and our Heart Tart, along with our maple waffle sourdough sugar cookies. For dinner tonight, I'm making Italian chicken thighs with this Italian seasoning packet that I found in the back of the pantry, as well as some creamy pasta with artichoke hearts added to it. You guys, this one was a winner. I have never put artichoke hearts in my creamy pasta before, but it was so good, and I will be doing this again for sure. And we also had sourdough focaccia on the side. It's Friday night, which means family movie night. So I'm gonna make some popcorn on the stovetop, and I'll be adding my homemade pickle salt. I put some olive oil in the bottom of the pan. I'm going to sprinkle some popcorn seeds. And I'm gonna sprinkle some of this pickle salt right on top. Good morning. It is Saturday, day 17 of the Pantry Challenge, and before we headed out to pick up our raw milk, we had sourdough granola and milk for breakfast. Then for dinner, we had that leftover mac and cheese with chicken. And that is it for week 3 of the Pantry Challenge. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out, and we'll be back next week. Until then, have a blessed one.